The lifestyle of a celebrity involves a whole lot of checks and debits, and we are talking hundreds of thousands. You see, being a celebrity comes with several standards that one has to keep up with, like maintaining a luxurious lifestyle with travel, expensive items, houses, and more. Luckily for celebs, their paychecks are huge enough to fund this expensive lifestyle. But what you don't know is, some of these celebrities are not rich enough to afford this lifestyle. I mean, they may be famous, but they are not exactly that rich. Today, we are going to show you a couple of celebrities with way less money than you think. You don't want to miss this.
But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter this giveaway. It's really that simple.
First on the list is Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay got her breakout in the 2000s after she starred in Mean Girls, Freaky Friday, and Herbie. The early 2000s were the best years of her life because that was when she made a name for herself as one of Hollywood's it girls. She achieved fame fast and riches even quicker, and at some point she had an estimated net worth of $30 million. With $20 million made from her acting career, she was able to earn money in different ways. In 2004, she released her debut album, and although she sold over 1 million copies, her career as a musician didn't work out. She went ahead to launch her own fashion line 6126, which, according to CNN, was named after Marilyn Monroe's birth date. Marilyn Monroe is her idol. She also appeared on the cover of the 2012 Playboy issue, and she had a couple of interviews with Oprah Winfrey. As a teenager with all that money, Lindsay went unchecked and she began to live life. She spent her money on partying, expensive purchases, and outright wasting her money on things that didn't matter. You name it, she did it all. To think it would end there, she started buying drugs, and she was reportedly spending $3,000 on narcotics weekly. She ended up in debt, owing to her dealers $30,000 for the narcotics she purchased. Things went worse for Lindsay in 2007 when she got arrested several times for shoplifting, reckless driving, DUIs, and altercations. In 2010, she was sentenced to 3 months in jail for not attending her court-ordered weekly education classes. All these scandals began to put her account in jeopardy. She reportedly had an outstanding bill of $61,000 for rehab, $40,000 which she owed at a tanning salon in Nevada, $233,000 of unpaid federal taxes, and $90,000 in unpaid limousine fees. To pay her debt, the IRS seized all her bank accounts. She had an interview in 2010 where she expressed her regret, saying, "I was 18, 19 with a ton of money and no one really to tell me that I couldn't do certain things. And I see where that has gotten me now, and I don't like it." As of 2020, Lindsay was estimated to have a net worth of not more than $800,000. Up next, we have Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, who is also known as Iron Mike, is a renowned boxer with big career success. His active years lasted from 1985 to 2005, and he was considered one of the best heavyweight champions of all time. According to a Forbes estimate, Mike Tyson was able to acquire $685 million throughout his boxing career, but that was not his exact net worth. He used the money to pay for things like his taxes, training, and his cost of living. After subtracting these expenses, his estimated net worth was about $300 million. But as of 2020, his net worth was 1% of his former value, and he is currently worth $3 million. Where did all that money go? Is the question everyone is asking. Just like many other wealthy celebrities, Iron Mike began to splurge his millions on partying, luxury homes, and expensive cars. Those were not enough for him. He went as far as purchasing exotic pet tigers, and he spent nothing less than $200,000 on them yearly. In one of his fights, Iron Mike bit off his opponent's ear, and he faced a lawsuit. He paid $3 million for damages. Mike also had a large family that he needed to fend for, and after marrying 3 different women and bearing 8 children, a lot of his money had to go into their support as well. In 2003, Mike Tyson declared bankruptcy, and at the time, he was in $23 million worth of debt. He only had 2 fights after declaring himself bankrupt, and the fights were not high income, but they were enough to hold him for a while after his retirement. After retirement, he got into to Hollywood, where he bagged a few minor roles. He started his own TV show, and right now he has a ranch where he grows his own marijuana. He is reportedly making a reasonable amount of money from his marijuana ranch. Hopefully, that will be able to fund his lifestyle. Next is Chris Tucker. Well known for his role in Rush Hour, Chris was once the highest paid actor in the world, and he once had a net worth of $65 million. Unlike other celebrities, Chris lost his millions differently. He did not exactly splurge his millions on partying and expensive luxury. His financial loss was termed to be carelessness and financial mistakes. In 2011, he was sinking in IRS debt, and he owed $11 million in taxes for the years 2001, 2002, 2004, and 2005. As of 2014, his debt toppled to $14 million, which he eventually paid off that same year. During the period of his debt charges, he had to sell a couple of his homes to make some money. Despite his financial setback, Tucker still has big hopes for himself and his career. In 2015, he said to the Los Angeles Times, "I want to get better. I want to do something that excites me, that is different and fun." Next is Nicolas Cage. He is a professional actor, and once upon a time, he was one of Hollywood's biggest stars, earning $40 million in 2009 alone. Currently, he is estimated to have a net worth of $25 million. Yes, that is a lot of money, but for someone who had a net worth of $150 million, that is a fatal financial knockout. Cage was earning big, but spending bigger. Cage once had a total of 15 residences, both in the US and in Europe. He also had a deserted island in the Bahamas. All of these were worth millions of dollars. He spent his money on several things that were not essential, such as a 9-foot-tall burial tomb, shrunken pygmy heads, a pet octopus, and the Lamborghini of the late Shah of Iran, just because he could. One time at an auction event, he outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for a 70-million-year-old dinosaur skull, which eventually turned out to be stolen, and he had to return it to the Mongolian government. Cage had several of his properties foreclosed, and he owed the IRS $6.3 million in property taxes. Although $25 million is also a reasonable amount of money, it isn't enough to clear his debts. The next celebrity is T-Pain. He had his breakout in the music industry in the early 2000s as a rapper, and he is best known for songs like Buy You a Drink, I'm Sprung, and Bartender. In an interview with The Breakfast Club, he opened up about his financial crisis and how he lost a huge sum of money. He said he had experienced it all, the high ends and the low ends. He said, "I have been mega rich and super broke." According to him, several years of poor spending habits and bad investments caused him to lose $40 million. He was broke to the extent of borrowing money just to treat his kids to Burger King. Luckily for him, he has managed to get back on his feet, and he is currently working towards acquiring more wealth. Up next is Kelly Rutherford. The Gossip Girl star is not as rich as you may think she is. In fact, she has a net worth of $1 million. Kelly lost her money in a pretty sad way after a custody battle with her ex-German husband, Daniel Gersh. The battle lasted for 6 years, and sadly, her ex-husband won, and he got full custody of their 2 kids. Kelly is only allowed to see the kids in France and Monaco. Next is 2.5 Men star Charlie Sheen. Charlie's widespread fame came from his role in the sitcom 2.5 Men. In 1 year, he earned $40 million. He lost most of his money after he got kicked off the show. He made a gamble with the makers of Anger Management, and he didn't receive a dime from the show, and it ended up being a flop on his account. As if that was not enough, he also spent $10 million to pay off people who were going to reveal that he had HIV. He also sold 2 of his properties at very cheap prices. At the moment, Charlie is left with only $10 million to his name. Finally, we have Janice Dickinson, the self-proclaimed first supermodel in the world. Janice rose to fame in the 1970s. She appeared on various magazine covers, including Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan, and Playboy. And she has worked with well-known designers like Gianni Versace, Pino Lancetti, and Calvin Klein. She also is an author and photographer. Over the decades, she earned $14 million from modeling and other appearances. Right now, she is not as rich anymore, and she has a net worth of $500,000. She suffered a financial crisis in recent years, and in 2014, she declared bankruptcy. She was neck deep in $1 million worth of debt, owing $300,000 to Citibank and over $500,000 to various anti-aging centers and dermatologists. We doubt she'll be able to pay up these debts due to her age and lack of income. That is a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching. Stick around for more interesting entertainment videos.